at the Goethe Institute in Johannesburg. Now we're going to explore this cultural hub and then we're going to view an exhibition that is on the go here. But before we get into anything, here's what we have for you on today's show. We look at life through the lens of renowned documentary photographer Jabulani Dlamini. We meet an artist from Nigeria who's changing lives through his works and social media. And we head to Malawi to see the art of macrame being brought to life. I am Zimi Ngonaphakade Mabunzi and you're watching Afrimax. Our first story is for all the adrenaline junkies out there. Let's take a plunge into the Nile River with one of Uganda's only female kayakers.
She has mastered the rapids with skill and power. Amina Tayona is Uganda's pioneering female kayaker. And Jinja, where Africa's biggest water body, Lake Victoria, empties itself into the beginning of the White Nile, is her playground.
My name is Mama Africa because of my spirit. I am fearless. If I want something, I go after it.
Tayona started kayaking in 2009. At the age of 16, she was inspired to try out the sport by a visiting female kayaker. 15 years later, there are about 10 professional females among Uganda's 100-plus kayakers. Tayona's main job is to guide tourists seeking thrills on Africa's longest river.
Anyone can overcome challenges if they make the effort. God created us without fear. It is we who create fear within ourselves.
While the River Nile may seem an exciting playground for Tayona, it's also a tough adventure. In her 15-year career, Tayona has witnessed a number of tragedies. One that happened at this point hit her particularly hard.
My childhood friend drowned in a spot known as the Dutchman, a dangerous grade 6 rapid. He struggled with mental illness and entered the rapids alone, without a helmet or life jacket. We lost him that day.
Despite the dangers, Tayona has not stopped exploring the Nile. This evening, she is taking her bravery 140 feet higher. Tayona is taking a leap of faith at one of Africa's tallest bungee jumping towers.
Whatever you think you can't do, you actually can. I was raised to chase my dreams, and what I dream, I achieve. That's why I have the courage to see my dreams come true.
This is one of those daring moments, perfect for an adrenaline junkie.
I love tackling challenges that might seem scary to others, so that when they see me overcome them, they are inspired to do the same.
Are you ready to overcome your fears like Amina Tayona? What's your next adventure?
So the Goethe Institute has branches worldwide, and to tell us more about this is Caroline Kriskau. Yes, Caroline, can you tell us more about the purpose of the Institute?
The Goethe Institute has been founded in 1951 in Germany, and the headquarters are in Munich. And it has been growing slowly over the years. So as you just said, we have branches now worldwide. For example, the number for Sub-Saharan Africa I know, so we have 15 institutes only in Sub-Saharan Africa.
Oh, wow.
And I think the main aim of the Goethe Institute has been initially really the support of the German language, but then of course also like an exchange, like intercultural exchange. And I think this has been also grown a lot over the years. So now we can say we have three main pillars, and this is really the German language, then we have the cultural program, and we also have an information and library. So many of the bigger Goethe Institutes do have its own library, as we also have it. I think very often it has been very much event-based, kind of fill a gap, a partner that can also then create synergies and bring in other connections through our network, the network worldwide, but also with Germany. So we had also lots of training programs, for example, trying to capacitate artists, but also cultural actors and also young creative entrepreneurs, also just trying to support the local scenes in order for them to have more independence, more capacities to also just roll. And so I think it's quite vast. So we have exhibitions, we have concerts, we have training programs, we can have readings, poetry events, so I think it's quite diverse.
Sure. They say a picture paints 1,000 words, and that's exactly what South African photographer Jabulani Dlamini's work is all about, telling stories. Take a look.
Photographer Jabulani Dlamini has gone on to create photographic work about people overcoming their traumatic pasts. Jabulani gives classes on Saturday mornings at the local high school in the Thokoza township.
Lighting in photography is everything. Like Young we need to understand light. And the background says it all. She's at home. Home could be anywhere. It needs to be personal. So like I've said, we're not just taking photographs. We're taking photographs we're creating a photograph that matters. So what I like about the project, it's not only about taking photographs, but it's dealing with these problems that they faced on a daily basis. So my main aim is to decolonize the use of photography, how photography was used during apartheid times, and also just to expose the young ones to photography.
So I'm here to learn more about photography. I had a dream, and then he just gave me this camera. And I was like, no, just take this camera. So ever since, I'm on that journey. I can take good pictures.
Jabulani isn't always in the classroom. He currently has an exhibition at the prestigious Goodman Gallery. This exhibition consists of photographs that he took in 2021 in the Sharpeville community. The Sharpeville massacre took place on the 21st of March 1960, south of Johannesburg. Under apartheid laws, black people had their freedom of movement restricted and were forced to carry passbooks. Residents marched to the police station to protest, but authorities opened fire. Approximately 250 people were injured and 69 died.
In this project, I collaborated with the community or the survivors that were there in 1960 that were directly affected by the Sharpeville shooting. I remember the first time when I did the portrait, they always had these objects with them to prove and that they were there, and some, the object that trapped their memories of the day. Like, for example, this bag that was there, that the family had to find it there. So this became a proof that their father has passed on.
Jabulani also photographed objects belonging to community activists, like this pillowcase that belonged to a woman who mobilized resistance in Sharpeville in the days of apartheid.
They used to hide the documents, the meetings and the minutes in this pillow. And one day, the police came and turned her house upside down, but when they got to these pillows, they took it and just threw it away, and that's how she got saved in a way. Most of them, they've never spoke about this to anyone in the level that we engaged in. So the conversation becomes a very important part of the project, and they started opening up. They would share, this is me, which for me it was great for them to reclaim themselves. Even the photographs, what we'd do is that we'd edit them together. So I also invited them to the opening, and the response was very, very positive. So, my life motto, I would say, as human beings, we help each other. I am who I am because of you.
Jabulani Dlamini is a photographer in close dialogue with his chosen protagonists.
And with me here is Tina, who is a curator here. Tina, can you tell us about the significance of the name of the exhibition?
So Abafabazi translates to those who die knowing in English, loosely translates to that. It's an amalgamation of 4 Zulu words. We chose the title based on women's agency, Black women's lived agency. We were looking at how this agency is kind of practiced in different countries and the similarities between the women in different African countries and the diaspora as a whole.
And what about the artists? How did you choose the artists that are featured? And can you tell us a bit more about their work?
We looked at female artists and researchers across sub-Saharan Africa. We looked at artists whose works focuses mostly on their lived agencies as Black women artists. We looked at artists who look into transgenerational conversations as well. And we're looking at how in each iteration of the exhibition, for instance, we could have a female artist that is older than the younger woman so that we were able to have a transgenerational conversation amongst the artists. How we got to choose them was basically through Google, to say the least. We looked at select one artist in each country. We looked at Francophone countries. We also looked at countries that are closer linked to at least my experience of what a Black woman's agency is like. If I may maybe start off with the artwork you're seeing right behind us. It's by Leila Ajovi. She's from Benin, and she is focused mostly on migration. So over here we have what's referred to as the living room. Here we have an artwork by Leila Ajovi, same artist on the outside.
Okay.
She speaks about migration and creates maps of her own. This is also a quote by her. And then right over there we have a photograph by Margaret Ngigi, who focuses primarily on femicide. She has 3 additional photographs in the exhibition that are showing. This is by Armel Mboba. They look at the role of women within these forests and the role of trees and feminine trees and how they retain knowledge and their connection to nature. And then lastly, this is an artwork by Amanda Mushate. She's Zimbabwean visual artist. This is a video piece by her that was commissioned by the House of African Feminisms. You're welcome to have a listen.
Absolutely would love to listen.
Sure. This is the bedroom.
Okay.
So this over here represents a bed with some sort of polygamous relationship occurring here. We have Love Letters by Hlengiwe Dube. This represents a female love letter. You can feel it, definitely. A male and another female. The love letter glossary refers to essentially the colors and gives you a bit of information about what each color means.
Affectionately known as Mr. Wadud, this Nigerian artist is challenging conventional norms with his exhibitions and social media. Take a look.
He wants to paint a bigger picture by drawing attention to an issue that is growing worldwide but is often overlooked in Nigeria: mental health in men. But thanks to Mr. Wadood, the issue is now becoming visible.
Mental health has always been a very passionate conversation for me, but particularly among men. I think there's an hush-hush culture that is around abuse for men, trauma around men, and how we all say men should open up, and then when they open up, they find it used against them and they run back into their shell. I think it's important for me, for us to be more empathetic towards one another and being able to create safe spaces for us to share our struggles with one another and listening ears to one another.
Abdul Wadood Afolabi, aka Mr. Wadood, is known for his colorful paintings as well as his poetry and social media presence. In Lagos, he has made a name for himself as a keynote speaker and mental health advocate. Let's see how he manages to combat the media-driven public perception of mental health, and why and how does Mr. Wadood provide hope and healing through creativity?
The artworks I create are intended to be able to create healing and hope through creativity. For me, I believe that art has been a catalyst for imagination, and colors comfort. With the right composition, comfort. And for me, being able to create a body of work that can be conversations that can end stigma around issues and be able to create a sense of optimism in my viewers, that's very crucial in the body of work that I create.
Mr. Wadood's work reflects his concerns about societal attitudes towards men's mental health, a topic often shrouded in stigma.
For me, it's being able to amplify conversations around mental health issues that affect men generally. Men have the highest suicide rate globally, and it's one of the most interesting facts that is unacknowledged or not amplified enough. It's all right to be strong and vulnerable at the same time. It's all right to be strong and emotional at the same time, but there must be an healthy balance in the people that are going to receive us in all of the capacities that we're expected to be as men. Chimamanda Adichie once said at Pen Word Voices that to choose to write is to reject silence. For me, my canvas is my paper and my brush is my pen. I'm writing a story that is breaking silence and breaking stigma, that is stopping and reducing stigma. Being able to create a body of work that amplify issues, because silence do not create solutions.
Mr. Wadood is concerned with how stereotypes of masculinity impact mental health, and how and why, for example, silence hinders growth and healing. Why is it so urgent for him to shed light on the topic of male mental health without prejudice?
At the end of the day, I want my work to be able to create a sense of release from the pressure that comes from the society for you to be a certain way, for you to express a certain way, for you to be manly a certain way.
With every piece, Mr. Wadood pushes the boundaries of creativity and of acceptance. But why does he experiment in such diverse mediums and methods?
The world doesn't speak the same language, and what appeals to somebody might not necessarily appeal to the next person. For me, using diverse medium has been a way to reach people in diverse way. As an artist, it was crucial for me to be able to learn various mediums, to show expertise and be able to expand the potential of my message, and being able to reach more people through a language that is visually understood without a need for explanation.
For Mr. Wadood, art is more than an expression. It's a mission to inspire change and connection. But why does he dedicate himself so deeply to this craft?
We're gradually slipping into a society that is unconsciously limiting safe spaces for people to express their mental health issues. We're gradually slipping into a society that is just based on consumerism versus understanding the purpose of living and being able to see the consequences of the actions we take, whether in institutions, in society, or even in relationship from within ourselves. And for me, being able to wake up and have the discussions around these issues through my heart, in institution, between my friends, and just being able to connect with a stranger that is just excited about my heart and have a conversation about something crucial to me has been really exciting, and being able to do that is just totally satisfying.
Through his bold colors, layered narratives, and commitment to societal change, Mr. Wadud is more than an artist. He's a true voice for resilience, showing how art can break silences and prejudices.
Macrame is the art of knotting thread instead of weaving it. And in Malawi, one woman is bringing it back with all kinds of beautiful designs.
Anyone can make nets here, as it's important for survival. But can knotting also be fun and beautify the home? That's what this young woman wanted to find out as she tried to figure out the ins and outs of the art of macrame.
When I was first given the code, I didn't think of anything. I was like, no. But then after I moved here, because then I didn't have much to do, it's when I thought of using the code. I was thinking of like making a wall hanging, like decor, simple house decor. And it came out so beautiful. And I was so in love with the wall hanging. I was like, this is interesting.
Many of us balk at the thought of macrame, thinking it's unfashionable and out of date. How did Jacqueline Ngulube from the remote village of Osisia, northern Malawi, realize that intricately hand-woven knots could create an artistic lace that could uplift her community?
The first thing I made me so interested, to do more. I posted it online, then people were so interested in it. So then I was like, maybe I can do more. First of all, I employed one of the ladies that helped me from the community. And I also buy some of the products that I use for macrame from the community as well. The outfit that I'm wearing, I made it myself, starting from the bag and dress and everything.
For Jacqueline, her decision to do macrame, has had consequences. Although the cultural and creative industry contribute more than 3.4% to Malawi's GDP, many young people in this sector work outside of the formal structures and therefore receive little or no government support. How easy has it been for Jacqueline to turn her passion for knots into a profitable business?
The first person who wanted it was my sister, so I sold her the one wall hanging that I made for her, same like the one I made for myself. But then from there, I learned out of code because it was just like a small amount of code that my grandma gave me. And I was like, where am I going to get this code? So that was a big challenge for me because by then people have known me. I started posting online, I sell macrame. So I had few orders, but I didn't have the code to use. So then I started searching for the code and I couldn't find it in Malawi. And I started looking outside of Malawi as well. So I finally found it in South Africa. And apart from that, because I'm so remote, I stay here, which is very far from everyone. That's also another challenge. But that's not like a big challenge because I always communicate to my customers when they should expect the delivery.
Macrame is an ancient art form of knotting rope that some researchers date back to the Babylonian and Assyrian empires. Its popularity has waxed and waned across the world over time. What has changed to give macrame a modern makeover so that tying knots is back in vogue?
Basically, we met Jacqueline online on Instagram. We've been following her for a while. And then there was Art in the Park last year. And that's when we got to physically meet her and got to see her products physically. And we were really, really, really inspired by the products that she does because they can make the house look beautiful without having to buy any expensive products. And the most popular products are actually the hanging baskets where people use fruits or they just hang them in the corners of the houses and all that.
My biggest client is Audrey. She's from Blantyre. She bought loads of things for me, starting from plant hangers, wall hangings, bed liner, hanging basket, hammock. So she bought almost 70% of my products, one each. She have almost everything that I make in her house.
For decades, the ancient knot tying technique was only popular with grandmothers. Is the young Malawian ahead of her time, or is she lagging behind the trend?
Macrame wasn't very popular in Malawi until I started making it, because a lot of people didn't know macrame. They don't know what macrame is till today. People, they're knowing it day by day.
when I advertise it and people ask me what it is, and when I explain it to them and they're like getting more interested. So for me, it's not just like, I don't just focus on clients, because it's not like I always have clients all the time. I just love doing it. It's just so healing, you know. It helps me calm myself, like makes me think about things.
Jacqueline has given the ancient art of macrame a new sustainable relevance. By working with the community, this life-giving knotting technique is creating jobs and sustaining the many, while adding a little beauty to everyone's lives.
And that is it for today's show. We do hope that you enjoyed it. Do catch us on the socials for more. But until next time, it's goodbye from me.